Yes, people, welcome back. 3 motorcycle gang members have killed a lone biker after they spotted him wearing colours from a rival motorcycle gang. David Crawford, 59, from Ivory Bridge, Devon, was hit from behind by a white van on the St Bordeaux Slip Road in Plymouth. He was then dragged for almost a kilometre along the A38. Benjamin Parry, 42, and Chad Braden, 36, both from Plymouth, and Thomas Pawley, 32, from Ivory Bridge, were convicted of manslaughter. The court heard that Parry, Pawley and Braden were members of the Devon-based Bandidos Motorcycle Club, with Mr Crawford being a member from a rival club, the Cornwall-based Red Chiefs Motorcycle Club. Perry was jailed for 12 years and Pawley and Braden for 4 years each. Mr Justice Graham described the killing as a senseless and act of unaccountable stupidity. During the Plymouth Crown Court trial, jurors were shown footage of Mr Crawford riding his black Kawasaki before it was stopped by Pawley and Braden, with them being in a Mercedes. Parry was driving his work Ford Transit van, then sped into the back of Mr Crawford's motorbike. Mr Crawford was pinned under the van and dragged underneath until Parry turned off at the next junction, almost a kilometre away. He told the defendants, "The 3 of you were members of the Bandidos Motorcycle Club. You were alerted to the fact of 2 other motorcycle clubs, the Hells Angels and their supporters, the Red Chiefs, have congregated at a retail park in Plymouth and were flying their colours, in other words wearing jackets or cuts displaying the insignia of their clubs. In the infinite world of such motorcycle clubs, to ride a motorbike in a neighbouring county displaying your colours it seems to cause great offence to the club that considers that county its home territory. You were each contacted by the Sergeant at Arms of your club about the presence of these other clubs, and you each took to the streets of Plymouth." The court heard that all but one of the motorbikes from the clubs was seen crossing the border into Cornwall, with Mr Crawford heading back at the toll booths back into Devon. The judge continued, "You all agreed that the lone motorcyclist should be stopped, told it was not acceptable for him to ride in his Cornish Red Chiefs colours in Devon, and given what is colloquially called as a slap to underline the point. By a slap, I mean a punch or the like, an assault that would cause him some relatively minor injury or pain. However, footage described as sickening by the judge captured the moment Parry, driving between 10 and 27 miles an hour, drove into the back of Mr Crawford's motorbike, throwing him into the air. Parry carried on going, despite knowing he had struck Mr Crawford, and drove with him trapped beneath the van on a ghastly journey, the judge said. Mr Crawford was then propelled from underneath the van as Parry turned off the dual carriageway, but the defendants continued to drive home. The judge said Mr Crawford was utterly innocent in all this. He had just been out for a ride on his bike with friends in his motorcycle club. Neither he nor his fellow bikers had done anything wrong that evening. You 3 had absolutely no business trying to dictate who rode their bikes in Devon or what they wore when doing so." The judge said, referring to mitigation for the defendants, none of them had a history of similar offending, and there was no evidence the Bandidos had a history of violence. He added, "Pawley and Braden did not plan or intend what happened on this occasion. For Parry, it was a moment of unaccountable stupidity." Speaking after the case, Detective Inspector Rob Smith of Devon and Cornwall Police said Parry was initially arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving before dashcam footage showed it was no accident. David Crawford has been described as the life and soul of the party, Mr Smith said, a funny, caring and protective family man who was deeply loved. The impact of David's death has been significant. I hope these sentences will provide some comfort and justice to David's family. Yes, people, that's it for this episode of Sons of Anarchy / Crime Daily today. But I'd just like to point out, based on some comments I've had on another video, there seems to be people thinking that black people don't get punished for crimes in this country. But does anyone really think if this was a group of black kids from Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, London, anywhere, and they ran down a rival gang member, knocked him off his bike and drove with him under a van until he died, they would all be getting done for murder, and even the ones who didn't actually knock him over would be on a joint enterprise charge and also be facing murder? So I don't know, but anyway, like, comment, subscribe and check back for more, yeah? Peace.